Well, the first league match of 2017 brings the first half of Watford and Tottenham's seasons to a close. That their fortunes have varied might have been expected, but where they are year on year is extremely significant. When 2016 dawned, Watford were 2 points off the top 5. 12 months on, they're 12th and 7 points adrift of where they were this time last year. 16 wasn't a year to remember. Of all the teams in the league, only Palace took fewer points, and barring their run to the FA Cup semi-final, highlights were only sporadic. Vicarage Road saw only 8 Watford wins, and 2 of those came in the Cup. Having started last year from a position of strength, that tapering off in form had no significant consequences. But a similar run could this time around. Injuries and suspensions have taken their toll. The African Cup of Nations won't help them either. And the Hornets need some New Year's resolution after conceding 70% more goals than they had at this stage last season. Well, at the start of play, the gap above the relegation zone is 8 points. A sizable cushion, you'd think. But too many runs of 4 points from 6 games will leave them nervously looking over their shoulders. In contrast, Spurs might regard 2016 as the year of what might have been. They might have run Leicester that little bit closer. They should have finished above Arsenal, but only Chelsea took more points in the calendar year than Tottenham in terms of points per game. They weathered the autumn storm when Harry Kane's injury brought a loss of form, and despite that run, they took more Premier League points in a year than ever before. But the first 6 weeks of the new year could well be crucial for their season. Within that period, they face each of the current top 3, piling on the pressure to the other matches that they play within the same time frame to maintain the momentum reignited in recent weeks. Well, Watford's task has become that little bit more difficult because it seemingly they picked up an injury in the warm-up. Odion Ighalo, who was on the bench and the printed team sheet, has come out in the starting 11. I can't see Zuniga there, and possibly he is the player that is missing out today, so you can only imagine that it is a problem for Zuniga from the warm-up. So this is how Watford will now line up. Gomez in goal, Cathcart, Kabul and Prödl. Amrabat will now play as a right wing-back. Gediora, Doucouré and Holebas. Capoue will play in front of them, and then in support of Deeney, it is Ighalo. Spurs have Lloris in goal, Trippier, Alderweireld, Wimmer and Rose, Darren Wanyama, Eriksen, Ali and Son, and Harry Kane is the man that leads the line. So just confirmation then of that late change as far as Watford are concerned. No Zuniga, and Ighalo, who was slated to be on the bench, now plays alongside Troy Deeney, and that means a different role as well for Nordin Amrabat, who will reprise his right wing-back role rather than playing in the hole, which is what we were anticipating. Watford in golden shirts will get us underway, kicking from left to right in the Hertfordshire rain this afternoon. Spurs in their white shirts, defending the end away to our right-hand side, which houses the travelling Spurs support. Well, 2016 was the year of the Fox, so what of 2017? Will it be a year that makes an indelible mark in Watford or Tottenham's history? The first match of the new year is underway. Long ball punted forward from the back, from Watford, straight out of play over Trippier's head for a throw, which will be taken level with the edge of the Spurs penalty area in the right back position. Ray Houghton's alongside me. Ray.
Well, there's another change, Jim. They're playing with 3 centre-halves, Tottenham. I mean, there's another one we should be looking at. It looks like Dyer, Alderweireld and Wimmer are going to be the 3 centre-halves. There's going to be wing-backs, Trippier on the right-hand side, Danny Rose on the left, and there's midfield. It looks like there's going to be Ali, Eriksen and Wanyama, and 2 up front, Son getting closer to Harry Kane, so quite a few changes.
Mauricio Pochettino deciding to go like for like with the 3 at the back. It's not the first time that he's played with a back 3, of course. Invariably Spurs do play with a 4, but he used the 3 most recently in the 3-0 victory at home to Hull just a couple of weeks or so ago. Here's Danny Rose, the left wing back, and he's fouled by Amrabat. Just caught on the edge of the penalty area. The first opportunity for Valdemar Sarri to look at the 4th official and berate him. The free kick has been given. It would have been a Spurs corner had the free kick not been given, but they have a free kick instead, which is 2 yards in from the left-hand touchline and will be taken just shy of the edge of the penalty area. Eriksen and Rose are the 2 players that stand over this. Rose just steps over the top of the ball. It surely is going to be a right-footed in-swinger here from Eriksson. Igalo and Amrabat are the two in the Watford wall. Plenty making their way forward. Wanyama is the deepest of them at the far post. Out comes Gomez, the former Spurs goalkeeper, and punched it away. And the offside flag was up anyway. It's a free kick to Watford inside their own penalty area. We played 2 minutes on TalkSport. It's Watford 0, Tottenham 0.
Great ball in there, wasn't it? We know he's got that ability, isn't he? Christian Eriksen from set plays delivers into a very good area, as he did on that occasion. Goalkeeper done well. He's under a bit of pressure there from Harry Kane, but very positive inside his 18-yard box there. Gomez came out, commanding, got the ball out the danger zone and was fouled at the same time. It's interesting to see whether they're going to be playing at the moment. Just looking at Danny Rose, the position he's taken up is quite remarkable. Looks like he's playing in midfield rather than playing as a wing back.
Alderweireld will chase and sweep up a ball that was played out towards the far touchline, and then Troy Deeney dived in and caught his man a little bit late over on the far side. It was Wimmer, I think. The ball will be played forward now through the midfield, but Son's touch was poor, and Decore, big bustling Frenchman, celebrating his 24th birthday today with his first Premier League start. He's played it through the midfield. Watford a turn. Cathcart knocks it forward, and it comes off Son and goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the right-hand side of the Watford back line. Still goalless. 3 minutes gone. Norden Amrabat with the ball in his hand, asked by referee Oliver just to retreat a couple of steps before taking the throw. Son has it now, winning the battle with the other number 7, Amrabat. Rose lays it back for Wimmer, and Wimmer just put under pressure by Decore. The pressure was telling. Lost his bearings for a moment and puts it straight out of play for a Watford throw.
I think it's evident what Watford's tactics are, and it's pressurised Tottenham at every opportunity. They're not going to sit off them and get up quite high up the pitch and put them under pressure, and that was ideal there with Wimmer. He got on the ball there, he was looking for options, and Alderweireld didn't make an angle to receive the ball, so he had to play it out of the pitch there for a throw in for Watford. Just matchups all over the park, isn't there? When you're looking at Amrabat up against Rose, on the other side it's going to be Holebas up against Trippier.
Spurs forced to defend, the ball played forward again. Decore with a touch that found Capoue. I think it was the pass he intended to play, but he's laid it out towards the left-hand side, and Igalo with a lovely turn after a good piece of play from Holebas. On the back foot, Dyer can knock it away. Eriksson level with the edge of his own penalty area, goes back for Trippier, whose clearance is brought down in the midfield by Guediora. Guediora and Capoue trying a 1-2 from close quarters. Kane comes back to win it back for Spurs, and will take it out towards the Tottenham right, and now play a ball forward which will release Son. He's trying to get in between two of the Watford centre-halves, Prödl and Kabul. The shaven-headed Frenchman Kabul has got it away. Back for Kane, trying to fashion a pass through the midfield. Capoue could cut that out. And now Prödl will play it forward. He smacked it straight into his teammate Guediora, who slides in, gets his leg round the side of Son to win it back. It's all a little bit scrappy in the midfield at the moment, with 4.5 gone at 0-0. Igalo laying it back for Prödl, and Prödl then will change the angle of the Watford attack by working it out towards Amrabat, and Amrabat has got the better of Rose, who fouled him. Good advantage play by the referee. Wanyama then blocks off Amrabat. Decore has it. He's gone back for Capoue. Capoue, an excellent crossfield ball from him, but it's skidded off the surface too far ahead of Holebas and goes out of play for a Spurs throw.
I'll tell you, there was an opportunity there for an overload for Watford, because they had Holebas coming forward, they had Troy Deeney who'd stayed over on that left-hand side. Trippier had come in narrow alongside the 3 centre-halves. But just a better ball from Capoue, and Watford could have been off and running down their left-hand side there.
Ball's gone out for a Spurs throw, which is taken quickly. Back for Eric Dyer. Dyer across the face of his own penalty area for Toby Alderweireld. Alderweireld, who missed the game against his former club Southampton through flu the other night. It was a game in which the Saints were well beaten. Spurs picking up their first win on the road in 9 games. It was a run that had stretched back to late September and had lost the previous 3 away from home. Just 1 away win in 9 isn't great, and it's certainly something that can be improved upon by a side whose away form last season was second only to champions Leicester. Eriksson has the ball, throws it out towards the far side. Eriksson's got it back again. Eriksson with a quick exchange of passes finds Trippier. Trippier indicates to Dyer that he should turn and go back inside his own half for Alderweireld. Alderweireld then turns it forward for Eriksson, who can turn and now brings Son forward, and he's found some space, and his left-footed shot was decent, just scooting off the turf, but Gomez diving down to his right-hand side can gratefully bring the ball into his body. It's 0-0.
That's where the three centre-halves, someone's got to come out and put Son under pressure when he picks the ball up, because there's three marking one there. The three of them are picking up Harry Kane, and there's an opportunity for actually Kabul to come out and put Son under pressure. He didn't. He allowed him to get turned on it, got his strike at Gomez, but it was an easy take for the Watford keeper.
Rose almost got a face full of hoarding as he kept the ball in on the left-hand touchline. The perimeter advertising here very close to the touchline. There's no margin for error for the players. Watford are caught offside, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Spurs just inside their own penalty area. Tottenham starting the day 5th, a point adrift of Arsenal, who are in action later today at home to Palace, and we'll keep you updated with everything that happens in that game, of course. It kicks off at 4. A Spurs win here will take them level on points with third place Manchester City. Wimmer's ball forward, too long for Danny Rose, goes out of play. Cathcart able to shepherd it out for a goal kick which will be taken by Gomez away to the left hand side. You're listening to Watford 0, Spurs 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. See more live Premier League games on Sky Sports than ever before this season.
I just wonder with Tottenham if they changed the tactics and the formation when they heard that Watford had to make a change, because now they've gone with 2 strikers. They've got 3 centre-halves marking the 2, Agallo and Dini, or whether they came with that ploy all along that they were going to go and match Watford up with the same formation.
Memory serves me correctly, they played with the back 3 away to Arsenal and Chelsea as well. Here's Rose playing it forward. He was caught late by Amrabat. Those two have been snapping at each other since the first whistle of the game. Danny Rose helped back to his feet. The free kick is given Tottenham's way. Be taken much nearer the centre circle than the edge of the penalty area. But Eriksson, nevertheless, is the man that will be the architect here. He's just tapped it short for Danny Rose. Dini waving Decore forward, telling him to put him under immediate pressure. Spurs work the ball out towards the right-hand side where Kane lays it off. Forward now towards Wanyama, trying to get the better of Prödl. Plays it in and has won the first corner.
Yeah, well played Spurs there. They changed the direction of the play, didn't they, over to that right-hand side. Harry Kane is making a lot of runs down the channel, trying to get in behind Jonas Kabul, and he held the ball up well there. Eventually came back to Trippier, played a lovely ball through Wanyama, who doesn't get forward much, kind of an advanced position there, played it off Prödl, and out for a corner for Tottenham. Tottenham have started the better of the 2 so far.
Danny Rose will take this corner, the first of the game. Son makes a run in towards the near post, offering himself the short one. It's delivered deep anyway, and Cathcart, the Ulsterman, heads it away, and it'll go out for a throw down by the left-hand corner flag this time, which Harry Kane retrieves, but will leave for Kevin Wimmer to take. Wimmer's opportunities have only been sporadic. He signed a new 5-year deal back in July, but hasn't played since the defeat to Chelsea in late November. Here's Alderweireld, crossfield ball from him, cut out by the diving Holebas, high up in the air. Igalo will chase after it, and it'll be shepherded over the line and out of play for a Spurs throw, which will be taken by Eriksson. I haven't really seen anything of Dele Alli from a Tottenham perspective so far, with 9.5 minutes gone in the cold and the rain of Vicarage Road. The first league game of 2017 is still 0-0. Wanyama able to bring the ball forward. Space on the Tottenham right. Trippier will pick it up. First time ball in from him. A little bit hit and hope and hurried. Rose will chase after it down by the far touchline, and his was the last touch. Goes out of play for a Watford throw.
Just overhit it, didn't he there? Trippier can come and fall from that right wing-back position. Didn't have a lot of options inside the 18-yard box there.
Watford worked it forward quickly. It was an excellent kill of the ball from Alderweireld to flick it forward for Wanyama. And now Eriksson's got it. Eriksson, Ali, clever dummy from him. Danny Rose, time to take a touch. Low ball back in towards the edge of the penalty area, and Eriksson shot, hit an arm on the way through. It's a corner. Harry Kane straight in the face of the referee, saying that it should have been a penalty. And he might have had a good shout there as well, because the arm was in an unnatural position. I think Eddie Capu's got away with one.
Yeah, he looks that way, doesn't he? I think he's trying to intimate and hit him in the face. I don't think he did. I think his arm was outstretched there, Capu. As the strike came in from Harry Kane, good build-up play from Tottenham. Decent ball in from Rose. It's a good strike coming in. Certainly come off his hand. I think it was Christian Eriksson with a strike, wasn't it? And it wasn't an unnatural position. That's a handball.
Eriksson takes the corner. Rose just teasing it into the fray, and it's put out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Gomez. But Watford have definitely got away with one there. Looking at the replay, as the shot comes, he has dived towards the ball, but his arm is out away from the body. That's a clear handball.
And you know what? The referee, Mr. Oliver, was in a great position to see it. He's looking right down the line of it. There was nothing from his viewpoint in his way. Looking straight at it. Ball played back from Danny Rose. In comes Christian Eriksen, took the strike on, and his hand comes down. You know, it's gone towards the ball. He's certainly got away with that there, Capoue.
Trippier lays it back for Hugo Lloris, who clears a low skidding clearance which evades Eriksen and goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Kolibas on the left-hand side. The Greek international who's only missed the one Premier League game so far this season for Watford in that left wing-back role. And he hurls it forward. Igalo trying to flick it on. Out of Alderweireld, time to take a touch on the edge of his own penalty area and then get Kevin Wimmer to come forward. The Austrian finds Danny Rose. Rose looking up. Ali made a run, wanting the ball into feet, but had to be played first time. It wasn't. Rose acknowledges that he did spot the run, but he'd worked it instead behind square. Now Wimmer will play it over the top. Son's onside, but the ball's gone past him and through to Aurelio Gomez, who of the three former Spurs players in the Watford side played the most games for Tottenham. He was at the club far longer than the others. He played in the Champions League quarter-final and a League Cup final in his time at White Hart Lane. Today making the 85th successive league start of his Watford career. He's been an ever-present for the best part of 2.5 years now. Here's Danny Rose for Spurs. Have had the majority of possession so far. It's 0-0 in the 13th minute. Tottenham should have had a penalty for a Capoue handball. Clearance from Prödl. Just rolls away from Deeney. Be picked up at the back by Eric Dyer. Dyer with time to bring it down, chips it out towards Wimmer, the left of the three centre-halves for Tottenham, and he will play it forward now towards Rose, who turns it round the corner into the feet of Kane. Kane tries to get the better of Amrabat, but was off balance, and it goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Watford right by Cathcart.
You were saying about Dele Alli earlier, Jim, saying you know he's not had a lot of touches of the ball, and that's because they've been man-marked in midfield. If you look around there, Gudiora's picking up Eriksen, Capoue's picking up Dele Alli. Decore's getting in and around Wanyama. So where the space is for Tottenham is one of the three centre-halves. Either Dyer breaking a little bit wider on the right-hand side or Wimmer on the left-hand side, and then they've got to try and play the ball into the bodies of the two strikers and build up from there.
Here's Norden Amrabat running towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to slide a reverse ball in for the run of Igalo. And there are complaints and heated discussion between the pair of them as that pass never looked likely to find his man. Amrabat claiming that Igalo had made the wrong run. Spurs bring it forward again, and Kane controlling it in midfield. He's dropped off into those pockets in behind Son on occasions. Here's Harry Kane again, right-footed shot, plenty of whip on it. But started it just too far wide of Gomez's far post, and it's a goal kick.
He doesn't need a second invitation to have a shot to go, Harry Kane, does he? But as I was saying there, exactly what I was saying earlier, Jim, one of the wider of the three centre-halves is going to get in possession of the ball. That was Wimmer. Played a lovely ball into Harry Kane, who'd come short off the three centre-halves, got turned on it, and they built up the move from there, and eventually came back to Harry Kane, who got his shot at goal, never on target, but straight away Capoue was complaining to the three centre-halves because they're standing back there as a three rather than coming out to put some pressure on the Tottenham strikers.
It's a 3-4-1-2 formation that Watford are playing at the moment, and we've mentioned that it is Decore's first Premier League start. Coaching staff just having to talk him through the game at the moment. He's come over to the touchline on a couple of occasions to receive instructions, and he is playing just in behind Igalo and Deeney at the moment, who make their ways forward now as it's teased towards the edge of the Spurs penalty area, and Troy Deeney has got it and has won the throw off Danny Rose, a throw which will be taken by Norden Amrabat. Amrabat with the ball in his hands. It's an excellent run off the ball from Capoue, trying to muscle his way past Danny Rose, and Rose might consider himself a little bit fortunate there to win the free kick as Capoue looked as though he'd got past him.
I think he's just too strong there, you know. Danny Rose for Capoue, who felt that he was the one that was sinned against there, but I think the assistant, who was quite close to the action, got it absolutely spot on.
Gediora forward towards Capoue, just try to flick it into the path of Deeney, and it'll be picked up by Lloris. Troy Deeney scored his 100th goal for Watford on Monday against Crystal Palace with that equalising penalty. He'd been stuck on 99 for a while. It's some achievement though. His first Watford goal came against Notts County back in 2010. And he's become the fifth man to score 100 goals for the Hornets, the first to reach that milestone for the club since the great Luther Blissett back in 1983. Just to put that in a bit of perspective, he's one of only three men to have scored 100 goals for his current Premier League club.
Yeah, quite amazing. He's just having a look out there. Dele Alli looks like he's just picked up a knock to his right knee. Just feeling his leg there. I think there was a challenge that came in from Capoue.
Watford in possession have a throw. It's played into the feet of Decore and then back out to Hollybass, who'd taken the throw in the first place. Back for Decore again. And Decore forced back by the persistent pressure in the Spurs midfield of Eriksson. As he lays it back for Prödl, he's forced to turn it over the top, and as he does so, Hollybass is caught offside.
Yeah, good pressure there from Son, making Watford play the ball quickly, and Hollybass caught in an offside position. They're bossing the game at the moment. There looks like a lot more cohesion about Tottenham's play. Watford are trying little flicks that haven't quite come off. Amrabat earlier on tried to play a ball down the line for Gallo. Gallo stood still, and there's an occasion there when one of the Watford players tried to play it into the feet of Troy Deeney, just didn't quite come off either.
Spurs have possession. They're inside their own half with Toby Alderweireld. Just waiting for a few options to appear. Wimmer had dropped back for him. In the end, he went for the emergency exit behind him of Hugo Lloris. Lloris and Alderweireld with a couple of 1-2s between the pair of them, and now he can turn and play it away around the corner of Igalo and find Son, who's dropped deeper. Rose again in an advanced position, little step over to try and deceive Cathcart. Still Son has it, running towards the edge of the Watford penalty area. Rose's first time ball in is half dealt with by Kabul. And Son tries to win the seconds away from Guediora on the edge of the penalty area. Rose has it again, but Guediora has picked his pocket. And now he plays it forward. Decore and Guediora just at cross purposes. Eriksson almost won it back, but Capoue can add a little bit of muscle into the midfield, and Prödl eventually gets it away towards halfway. Brought down now by Deeney. Igalo lays it back through the midfield. Capoue works it wide towards the left-hand side. Hollybass sets Deeney free down the left, but Eric Dyer will come across, the pacer of those two, and he will turn and clear out towards halfway. Brought down again though by Guediora, and then rolled forward by Capoue. Alderweireld motions to Lloris to come out and claim that, and he does so at the feet of Decore.
Yeah, that was unlucky from Capoue's point of view, wasn't it? Seen the run of Decore, try to play it into a good area to get him in behind the three centre-halves of Tottenham. He did, but just overhit it ever so slightly, which allowed Lloris to come out and collect it.
Ali trying to flick the ball on towards Danny Rose. Didn't get anything on it as he strained the neck muscles, and it will go through for Aurelio Gomez away to the left-hand side. Watford 7 points worse off than they were at this stage last season, in contrast to Tottenham, who've got 4 points more than they had at this stage last season. Had an excellent spring, Spurs, last time round. Hoping for more of the same this time round, with Chelsea to come, of course, in the next few days, and then Manchester City away and Liverpool away, both coming up between now and the middle of February. So 3 games of stellar importance as far as Spurs are concerned. It just adds a little bit of pressure to the other games in that run, like today, like West Brom at home in a fortnight's time, and Sunderland away in the middle of that run as well. Rose lays it back for Wimmer. Wimmer to the blue-booted Alderweireld, who will bring it forward towards halfway and then just chips one over the top, right-footed ball, which bounces on the edge of the penalty area and rolls through for Aurelio Gomez. Neither goalkeepers had a difficult save to make in the opening 19 goalless minutes.
Well, just there, Alderweireld is just forcing the issue, isn't he? Try to play a ball in, straight ball, straight run from Son, never going to get in. And he put an angle on the ball or on an angle on the run, made it easier for Gomez to come out and collect it. I'll go back to Jim Ware. There's not a lot of space out there at the moment, but the two wider players at centre-half for Tottenham are key. They've got to make angles to get on the ball and then run forward with it excuse me, and then look to play little balls into the strikers, and then you can get movement from your midfield players.
20 gone 0-0. A free kick given against Kieran Trippier for handball, and the free kick is worked forward from the back by Hollybass, headed away by Alderweireld, getting the better of Deeney. And it goes out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Watford right-hand side. Deeney not happy at all, just in discussion with the referee, indicating that he thought that there was a pull of the shirt, and that he believed that the linesman had seen that and thought so as well. But play restarts with a throw. Amrabat's ball over the top, intended for Deeney. He's flicked it on, almost found Igalo. But out comes Lloris and saves.
How good is he in the air? I mean, he's not that tall, is he? I mean, you look at Dyer and you look at Deeney, and Dyer's probably a little bit bigger than him, but at times he's jumped so well, gets his body into the defender, trying to pick out Igalo there with a little threaded through ball from his head there. It wasn't too far away. Keeper came out and done well there, Lloris.
Wanyama with an extravagant attempt at a volleyed chest pass out towards the far touchline. And Ali eventually lets it run out of play. It had taken a touch of Hollybass on its way through for a Spurs throw. It's 0-0 midway through the first half. Kane tries to play it forward, but it's just taken a touch on its way through off Kabul. Comes back for Trippier. In for the suspended Kyle Walker today. And Kabul again will be able to clear his lines. Left-footed, high up and under from him. Deeney trying to make something of it. It's a good battle between him and Eric Dyer at the moment. Out of Vereld after Dyer had won that latest instalment. Can play it down towards the left-hand side for Wimmer. Wimmer into the feet of Rose. Son makes an early run forward for him, but he's gone to the left for Kane. Kane sees Ali making a far post run. She's trying to tease it. Kabul just got enough on it. It's just the studs of his right boot to get it away. It wasn't the most convincing clearance, but he did get it out of Ali's path. Then as Watford break, Igalo tries to bring it forward, but out of Vereld can knock it away from him inside the centre circle for a Watford throw.
Scrappy defending from both teams, isn't it? Kabul there should have done better with his clearance, and then it came down the other end of the field and there was a 50-50 between Igalo and Dyer. Dyer pulled out of it. Alderweireld put out for a throw-in.
Decore forward towards Deeney, and then Deeney has done well, just fashions the ball with the outside of his right boot to the left hand side for Holebas, making his way forward, taking on Trippier. Left-footed ball too deep for Decore, had made his way forward. Rose can run round it and clear left-footed down towards Son. Son will pick it up. Cathcart has followed him out from the back. Son nutmegs Amrabat to guide it back for Wimmer. And then Wimmer will bring it outside his penalty area and play it forward towards Kane. Kane again able to turn. Ali making a run ahead of him. Kane though, foul. Good advantage play by the referee. Plays it out towards Ali. Ali's got Trippier to his right. Here is Trippier. Kane makes a run in towards the near post, but Holebas covered it and was able to get it away. Out as far as Eriksson. Eriksson's left-footed ball across the face of the area. Clever dummy for Danny Rose, who wanted it on his left foot, not his right, and has fired it over the bar.
That's a huge miss. It really is. But I'll tell you what great build-up play from Tottenham. Very patient in possession of the ball, good movement, certainly from Trippier coming forward from that right wing-back position. Ali just kept his position, waited for a minute, played the ball into a really good area. It was a poor cross initially from Trippier, but they got the follow-up from it. Ball laid across the face of the goal, little dummy to allow Danny Rose to come in to get his strike away, but you've got to hit the target. What, 12 yards out? I know it's on his weaker right foot, but just make sure you get your head over the ball, hit the target and ask a question of the Watford keeper Gomez.
Yeah, talking about the three former Spurs players in the Watford side. Danny Rose, a former Watford player in the Tottenham side. He actually made his league debut for the Hornets back in a loan spell in 2009. Just a handful of championship appearances at the back end of that 08-09 season. Well, he should have scored there. Here's Wanyama. Forward through the midfield. Wimmer's got it now. Coming over halfway. 24 gone, 0-0. Danny Rose in possession. The play back again for Wimmer. Wimmer to Eriksson under pressure from Decore. Lays it back for Alderweireld inside the centre circle. And Eric Dyer will bring it forward. Deeney doesn't engage him. He just runs parallel to Eric Dyer across the halfway line. Now again will shift out and put the pressure on him. It's played round Deeney to find Wanyama. Dyer makes his way forward again. Tottenham playing with the wing back so high. Trippier almost as a right winger, and Danny Rose similarly out on the left. Out of Vereld with a long straight ball forward. It's a good one as well. Nodded down towards Kane. It was a good run forward from Eriksson, but it'll be cleared by Dyer, I beg your pardon, but it'll be cleared easy down the left hand side by Holebas and will go out for a throw which will be taken on the Watford left.
I thought there, Jimmy, he was going to head for goal there. The position that he was in, I think it was easier because the angle he was running in to head it towards the goal rather than try to head it back to pick out one of his teammates. I just think he lost his bearings where he was because the goalkeeper, Gomez, was on his 6-yard line, so there was a lot of room just to lift it over the top of the Watford keeper, and that was half a chance there for Eric Dyer.
Trippier will take this throw midway inside the Watford half. It's 0-0. Son back out for Trippier again. Now to Son into the feet on the edge of the penalty area. Left-footed shot. Oh, a ferocious attempt from Eriksson. Gomez probably had it covered. It went over his bar just, and out of play for a goal kick. Well, here are the latest odds from Betfair, Sunday Exclusive's official betting partner on TalkSport. The latest odds right now: Watford 24-5, Spurs 4-7, and the draw is 13-5. With Betfair, you can cash out on single or accumulator bets to take your winnings before the end of the match. It's available on selected markets and conditions apply. Try it at betfair.com or download the app today. But please, gamble responsibly. 25 minutes gone, 0-0. Igalo, who, if you're just joining us, wasn't in the starting lineup. He only came in to the side after Zuniga was injured in the warm-up. Amrabat chipping it over the top. It's headed away by Alderweireld, and then Ali will bring it down for Son. Son under pressure from Guediora, and the pressure told. He just came round the back of him, flicked it away. Guediora off to the African Cup of Nations, the Algerian international. So they'll be without him. They're going to be without the Moroccan Nordin Amrabat as well. Spurs clear. forward through the midfield, and Eriksson can bring it down. Those two absences will further affect Watford's lack of strength in depth. They've got 4 players on the bench today, including the late call-up Michael Falevi, a young striker who haven't played a first-team game between them. Here's Ali towards the edge of the area. Oh, he's hit the junction of post and bar with a rising right-footed drive. Bounces down to safety, goes out of play for a Spurs throw after a deflection. But that was a stunning attempt from Dele Alli, and very nearly the first Premier League goal of 2017. Here's Kane on the right-hand side. Just coming in off the right-hand touchline, lays it back for Eriksson. Eriksson to Trippier. Right-footed ball in. Kane, tight angle, across the face of goal and in. Spurs have the breakthrough. They've been the better side in the opening 27 minutes, and Harry Kane is the first man to score a Premier League goal in 2017. Is that an omen for a promising year for Tottenham Hotspur?
What a finish. Absolute top-quality finish from Harry Kane. But the ball from Trippier is absolutely sensational. He doesn't panic. It's just a lovely threaded through ball. Kane's onto it in a flash. Didn't panic whatsoever. Just waited for the keeper to make his move and then finished superbly well. But for me, it's all about the pass. This is what makes the goal. Absolutely brilliant. Played into a great area. Very tight decision where he was onside or not. I think Ollie Bass just played him on, but he just waited and just side-footed it past Gomez in towards the near post. And you got to say, with the way the play's gone in this opening 28 minutes, Jim, it's deserving of Tottenham. They've been the better side.
His 100th Premier League appearance, and he has goal number 58. It's an outstanding record. Only 8 men have scored more in their first 100 Premier League games than Harry Kane, who's added to the 10 that he's scored so far this season. And Spurs come forward again with Eriksson towards the edge of the penalty area. He can't find the way through. They'll be knocked away by Holebas. And Holebas will bring it towards the edge of the centre circle before it's chipped over the top out towards Deeney, who knew that he stood no chance of being able to get that in the end. Trying to get a hand on it almost by the touchline, stop it going out of play. It's a throw which will be taken over on the far side by Spurs, who have the advantage. An advantage given to them on 27 minutes by Harry Kane. His only previous goal against Watford had come for Leicester, but he scored now for Spurs to give them a 1-0 advantage. You're listening to Watford 0, Spurs 1 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget, you can see that Kane goal on the Sky Sports Football Score Centre app, available at no extra cost for Sky TV customers with Sky Sports. He's turned his man again, has Kane. It's an excellent ball forward for Ali. Ali's got Son in the middle, trying to get it across to him. It's knocked away by Prödl and then cleared on the left-hand side of the penalty area by Guedioura. But you sense now, with still an hour of this game remaining, it could be a long afternoon for Watford.
Yeah, absolutely, Jimmy, quite right. And that goal all came about early. Let's not forget, after the strike from Ali that hit the crossbar, and after that, Spurs kept the ball alive in that final third of Watford, and it was a Trippier ball through for Harry Kane, and he finished it like a top goal scorer would. No panic about it whatsoever. Just put it into the near post, just waited for Gomez to go to his right hand side, put it in to his left. Excellent finish, and Tottenham thoroughly deserve it and look like they can score a few more at the minute.
Well, Spurs took the lead at Chelsea and lost, but on the 8 other occasions in which they have gone 1-0 up this season, they've won 7. Difficult side to come from behind against. Here's Alderweireld. Watford, on the other hand, don't have a sensational record when they have gone 1-0 down. They've only won 3 of the last 30 from 0-1. Here's Rose with the throw, finding Son. Harry Kane, the goal scorer. It's 1-0 to Tottenham. Rose in towards the edge of the box for Kane again. Kane trying to find a way through, and then will continue his run forward. Ali teasing it over the top towards him. The clearance from Holebas lacked conviction. Doucouré's giving it away. Ali turns on the edge of the box. Prödl did enough and then bellows at Doucouré. And not to overplay in that kind of area. The ball goes through for Gomez. I'm not convinced that Vala Matsari is able to get his message across here. He's bellowing instructions at the players. Some of them turning around looking mystified at them. I wonder whether some of the coaches having to try and...
Jimmy, I've just seen him, all he's saying was calm down. At the moment, they're just making so many basic mistakes. You know, panicking when in possession of the ball, giving the ball away far too easily, and there's no cohesion about their play. They're just running around. And really what they have to do is have a definitive way of playing. Get up to Deeney, get up to Ighalo, and then get your midfield players up higher up the pitch. At the moment, it's so disjointed from Watford's point of view. They're just running around but not getting near Tottenham at the moment.
Spurs will bring it forward again. Eriksen's got it. Finding Kieran Trippier. Back out for Eriksen on the right-hand side. Son, left-footed shot from him. It's deflected off Prödl. Gomez will get there first to a looping ball which he can catch on the edge of his 6-yard box. Spurs leading by a goal to nil as they look for a 4th successive win. A victory that, for a couple of hours at least, will take them above Arsenal and will bring them level on points with Manchester City at the halfway stage of the season. Spurs would have 39 points from 19 games. There is no let-up in the teams at the top. The 6 chasing the title. Spurs very much a part of that. Ball forward, Deeney flicks it on. Dyer wins the second ball. Most of the second ball has been won by Spurs so far, significantly. Dyer, now to Alderweireld. 32 gone, Watford 0, Tottenham 1 with Harry Kane's opener 5 minutes ago. Rose into the feet of Eriksen. Back for Alderweireld again. And the Belgian finds Rose. Now Wimmer out on the left-hand side. And Rose has just alternated places with him and dropped in on the left of the 3 centre-halves temporarily. But they will revert to type now as ball goes out of play for a Tottenham throw, which Rose takes quickly into the feet of Ali. Ali back for Son. Son's got away from Capoue. Still Son goes. It was a vital intervention from Holebas, but Ali wins the second ball and sprays it wide for Trippier. Trippier, good ball in from him. Kane, 2-0. That's a brilliant finish. Sliding in, got the shin to it. It was another inviting, tantalising ball, and Harry Kane's got between 2 Watford defenders. Fired it in with conviction off the underside of the bar. He scored 2 in 6 minutes. What a start to 2017 for Harry Kane. It's Watford 0, Tottenham 2.
Predator, Jim. Striker who knows where he should be positionally inside the 18-yard box. But once again, Kieran Trippier, what a ball he's delivered in here. Absolutely pinpoint accurate into an area which favours the attacker. And didn't he have to attack it well, didn't he, Harry Kane? Into the perfect position. Great ball in. He wanted it more than the Watford defenders. Got between the two of them. I tell you what, that is a top-class finish once again from Harry Kane. And Tottenham, well, Mazzari's just came out there and he's trying to tell his players to calm down at the moment. They need livening up. What they need to do is get closer and get tighter to the Tottenham players, because Tottenham are playing really well at the moment. Super confident, really good spell in the last 10-15 minutes from Tottenham.
Watford need an immediate response. Will it come here? Amrabat inside the Tottenham penalty area. Found a bit of space. Left-footed shot was blocked. And then it's hammered away by Alderweireld unceremoniously, but anywhere will do. And it's out for a throw, which will be taken on the Watford right.
Well, there's a difference, isn't it? Trippier plays the ball in straight away, it leads to go. Amrabat picks up the ball and he doesn't really know what he's going to do next with it. He's taken too many touches, comes in field, comes into where the numbers are, where Tottenham are, tries to get his shot away. Too many Tottenham players in and around him. They just look like they don't know exactly what they're supposed to be doing, the Watford players.
Amrabat, good ball in. Offside flag was up though against Ighalo. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Spurs just outside their penalty area. Ighalo had that sensational 2015, 29 goals that year, only 6 in 2016. And you've got to go back nearly a year now for the last time he scored a Premier League goal here at Vicarage Road, which came against Newcastle United. This is the 15th game without a goal so far in the Premier League at Vicarage Road for Odion Ighalo since then. They need a little bit of inspiration up front. Rose has given it away. Amrabat trying to out-bustle Wanyama, who's come across and has brought him down, and it's a free kick which will be taken 12-13 yards outside the penalty area for Watford. Amrabat's picked up a sore one just on the right ankle and was indicating that to Mike Oliver, but no lecture for Victor Wanyama. It is, though, a free kick for Watford.
I'm just looking at the Watford players. Look at Holebas, head down, shoulder slump. You know, there's no real belief about them that they're going to get themselves back into. Now, this is a chance, because you've got genuine height, and this is all about the delivery from Capoue. Just lift into an area. You know, you're looking where Tottenham are. I think they're a little bit too high up the pitch. There's a lot of space to deliver this ball into.
In it comes from Capoue towards the far post. Kabul nodding it on. It's helped on further by Holebas, and then back towards his own goal from Alderweireld with Deeney lurking. But Kane, of all people, came back to stop Troy Deeney getting a shot in. And it drifts out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Hugo Lloris. 36 gone, Watford 0, Tottenham 2.
I'll tell you what, that was a really poor header from Alderweireld. He should have been heading it out of play for a throw-in. It came off the side of his head and went back towards his own goal, and Troy Deeney wasn't too far away, but didn't Harry Kane do very well there defensively? Just put his body in the way there, played it off, Deeney out for a goal kick.
Here is Kane again. He ended 2016 by breaking his goal drought. Goal drought in Harry Kane's terms, only 4 games. Missed a penalty as well. He's started 2017 brilliantly. Rose, long crossfield ball from him, goes out towards that far touchline. Here comes Spurs again. Trippier looking for a hat-trick of assists. Couldn't find Kane that time. It's headed away by Prödl. Out as far as Son on the edge of the box. Son to Eriksson. First time ball from him to Wanyama. Back out towards the right-hand side for Kieran Trippier. And Trippier will go back towards halfway. Don't just take our word for how good Trippier's deliveries have been for Harry Kane's goals. You can see both of them on the Sky Sports Football Score Centre app right now. It is available at no extra cost for Sky TV customers with Sky Sports. Watford 0, Tottenham 2 is the scoreline. 2-1 to Spurs when they last came here just over a year ago, with Son getting the winner in the 89th minute then. And Spurs get Son into possession again on the edge of the box here. Eriksson with a lovely reverse ball, but just too far ahead of Trippier. And Deeney's forced to come back and clear, and then it'll be knocked away by Kolibas in the left wing-back role. Played forward again by Dyer. Did well, flick it over the shoulder of the nearest Watford player. Brings Ali into it. Watford will be able to bring it away, though, with Deeney. Deeney to Capoue. It's just taking a touch off the heels of Guediora and finds Kane. Kane to Ali, left-hand side of the penalty area. Ali trying to turn and get the cross in, can't do so. And Cathcart slides in and has kept it in. He might wish that he hadn't, though, because he's presented it straight to Eriksson. Eriksson 20 yards outside the penalty area. Lovely square pass from him out towards Trippier. Trippier is in a more central position this time as he picks it up. Lays it back for Wanyama. Wanyama to Alderweireld. Alderweireld across the halfway line for Kevin Wimmer. So Spurs fans away to our right-hand side in fine voice, delighted by what they've seen so far. And Cathcart is forced to take matters into his own hands there as Wimmer nutmegs him. And the free kick goes Spurs' way, about 10 yards outside the penalty area left of centre.
Do you know, this season, more than most that I've seen recently, when you look at the top 6, the class difference between them and the others is so evident. I think it's a golfing class between them now. I mean, Tottenham have just dominated possession of the ball here. They look just so super confident in possession. I'm looking at Watford, and yeah, I know it's a makeshift team, but they just look like they've got lack of ideas, lack of confidence, lack of belief they're going to get anything out of this game.
Eriksson takes this free kick. He's bent it in right-footed. Son! Oh, he should have made it 3. He had a look round to see if the offside flag was going up against him. He just made that near post run in towards the penalty spot, as everybody was expecting an elevated ball towards the far post, and Eriksson just played a low one in. Son met it on the half volley and has put it wide when he really should have scored.
Well, Watford complaining there should have been offside. Do you know what? There was 3 Tottenham players that could have had an opportunity there. Son was the first. Harry Kane was coming in behind him, and Alderweireld was there as well. Where is the marking from the Watford players?
Gomez clears. Eriksson lets it run across him. Deeney brings it down. Deeney turns it back through the midfield. Wanyama can head it forward. Then it's returned by Capoue. Eric Dyer climbs over Igalo. Watford work it out towards the right-hand side for Nordin Amrabat. And the Moroccan here will run towards the edge of the penalty area. He finds Guediora. Guediora, who scored that sensational goal at Arsenal in the FA Cup back in March. Amrabat claiming that should have been played round the back of Danny Rose. It's gone out of play for a Spurs throw. A throw which is taken to Wimmer. Lloris just side-footing it so nonchalantly between 2 Watford players on the edge of the penalty area. Spurs can then turn it forward and it's cleared. Cathcart puts it out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Tottenham left by Danny Rose. 2-0 to Spurs.
Lloris there looked more assured in possession of the ball than the 3 centre-halves of Watford. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. We've just seen the ball played to Cathcart, and he's just got a little ball to lay off, side-footed into the path of Amrabat, and he's put it out for a throw-in for Tottenham.
Kane on the left-hand side. Played forward to him by Dele Alli. Son making his run in towards the middle. It's cleared by Kabul. Out as far as Ali. Ali gets the better of Cathcart and fires in off the inside of the right-hand post for 3. It's been a dreadful opening 40 minutes for Watford. 3 goals they've conceded in a 14-minute spell. Tottenham devastating. Dele Alli on the score sheet as well. Watford 0, Spurs 3. This one's all over before half-time.
It is, there's no doubt about it. Spurs thoroughly deserve to be 3-0 up at the moment, but once again they defended. What is Jonas Kabil thinking about here? I mean, he's just got to go for height and distance. It's a really poor clearance straight into the path of Dele. I'll credit him. Do you know what? He's first to react to it. You know, he's in an area, he says, right, there could be a mistake there. He gets ahead of, I think it's Cathcart in there. He's first to react in. It's a sublime finish, wasn't it? Just side-footed it past Gomez into the corner. 3-0 Tottenham. And you just can't see any way back whatsoever for Watford in this game.
And a little bit of dissension in the ranks as well as far as the Watford players are concerned, arguing with each other. Spurs will chase. Ali will try and get the better of Prödl, who's put it out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Eriksson. In fact, he's going to leave it for Kane. Eriksson made the run forward for him. It's gone back instead for Trippier. Dele Alli scored Tottenham's first and last goals of 2016. And he scored inside the first half of their first game of 2017 as well, but only after a brace from Harry Kane. Watford 0, Tottenham 3. 3 minutes to go to half-time. Doucouré out towards the left-hand side for Deeney. And Deeney will play it forward into the feet of Doucouré again. Holebas to Deeney. And Deeney finding Wanyama in his way, still trying to get it out towards Doucouré on that far touchline. Ali's won it back, and Doucouré just made it too easy for Ali to chase after the loose ball. Kaboul comes across and puts it out, and it's a throw which will be taken by Spurs on halfway on their right-hand side. 3-0 Tottenham lead.
You know, when you're watching the team, Jim, you normally get a definition how they play. You know, you can see it. You say, right, I know what they're trying to do today. They are either trying to pass through midfield or they're trying to play up to the front man, and you have an understanding of how the game's developing. I can't tell you what Watford are trying to do. I really don't know what the plan was. I thought early on it was to try and close Tottenham down and put them under pressure. They've done that for a few minutes, but you know, since they've gone a goal down, I'm just looking around here, and I talked about leaders. Where are they out there? I mean, I just don't see anyone who's driving influence, who's trying to cajole, trying to get something out of their teammates to get themselves back into it. They just look like a team to me that can't wait for the final whistle, even at this early stage of the game.
Well, that was a poor challenge over on the far side. The first time that a Watford player has gone in late, really. Holebas, born of frustration, has caught Eriksson. And it's a yellow card for him, his 9th of the season already.
Well, I'm not advocating going around and kicking people, but what I'm advocating is going out there and competing. And that's what you're looking for, and that's what the Watford fans want to see. You know, they came here, first game of 2017, and obviously they know that they've got problems with the injury list that they've got, but they're still looking for a bit more than they've seen so far. Alderweireld. Under pressure from Igalo, just plays it forward towards Eriksson. Eriksson going back for his goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris. And fall from him to Alderweireld again, who's just turned neatly, got away from Capoue. Out towards Eriksson. Capoue just snapping at Eriksson's heels as well now. Eriksson turns away from him. Alderweireld chips it down towards the left-hand side. Spurs exuding confidence, playing with a swagger, never looking flustered. As soon as I say that, then that gives it away. Well, gave the ball away there, but you look at the way that the three centre-halves have just handled possession of the ball. No panic about them whatsoever. They've always got someone coming off to receive the ball, whether it be Wanyama, whether it be Ali, whether it be Eriksson. Always options available for them.
Gomez clears, right-footed towards halfway. Deeney going up for it, chests it down, finds Capoue. Capoue had that excellent goal-scoring start to the season from midfield, but the goals have dried up for him latterly. Nobody's been particularly prolific in this Watford side, which has been one of the problems. Eriksson working it into space for Trippier in the closing seconds of the first half. Tottenham 3 goals to the good, trying to get a 4th before half-time. Here's Kane. Kane, right-footed ball, flighted in from him, too deep for Ali, who made an uncharted far-post run. Goes out of play for a goal kick, and the 4th official, Roger Rees, will indicate just 1 additional minute at the end of the first half.
Well, can't wait to get in for half-time, can they? You know, certainly this first half has been so poor from their point of view. Tottenham, they want to go right through for the full 90 minutes.
You listen to Watford 0, Spurs 3 on TalkSport with Sky Sports, and all 3 of today's goals are on the Sky Sports Football Score Centre app, available at no extra cost for Sky TV customers with Sky Sports. Here's Trippier, and Trippier's long ball forward will be brought down by Harry Kane. Kaboul just leans over him and nods it past him. Holebas has lost out though to Eriksson. Son rides the challenge of Capoue in the midfield. Then he goes shoulder to shoulder with Kane. Capoue has won it, lays it back. Kabul back to his goalkeeper Gomez. Gomez lets it run across the edge of the 6-yard box before clearing it right-footed towards halfway. Alderweireld toe pokes it forward, but his former Ajax teammate Eriksson can't get there. Decore lays it out to the left-hand side for Kabul, who's continued his run forward here with Watford in possession right at the end of first-half stoppage time. Switch of play from Decore down towards Amrabat. Amrabat brings it under control, but that will be the end of the first half, and so far it's been a happy new year for Tottenham. Isolated boos for Watford as they leave the field. Their form here at Vicarage Road has held up well in the recent poor run. They've won 3 of the last 4 here. They ain't going to be winning this one. They have been outclassed in every department. Half time at Vicarage Road, it's Watford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Follow that. Well, Watford out for the second half, as you say, and Spurs coming out now for the second half as well. Just making that other illustration about the problems that Watford have in terms of injuries and the bench, and that there are just no options, realistic options that they can have to change things. Don't get me wrong, I think that the 4 youngsters who are on the bench today are all good players. Hopefully they will all have outstanding careers ahead of them, but this is not the scenario that you want to see a player indoctrinated into Premier League football in. I mean, the young striker Michael Falevi particularly, I think, is a player with a bright future ahead of him, but it's a thankless task for them. So the 6 outfield subs they've got a centre half who started 3 games this season. Sinclair has started 1, and the other 4 haven't made their first team debuts for Watford yet. There aren't too many options for Mazzari to make changes here. I'll run through the 2 teams for you in a moment. Spurs will get the second half underway. They lead by 3 goals to 0. Kane on 27 and 33 and Ali on 41. And Spurs kicking from left to right at the start of the second half. Back underway and on the front foot straight away as Kane tries to get the better of Kabul. But it's a Watford throw. Alongside me, Ray Houghton.
Don't you think though, Jim, when you watch Tottenham, they sort of know where they're going to, the next pass is going. When it comes to them, you know, they've already got a plan in their mind, right? I'm going to help it on down the line, as Trippier just did there to Harry Kane. Knew exactly where Harry Kane was running to. So I get that when I'm watching Tottenham. I don't see it with Watford at the moment. That's the worry you talked about earlier. Could they get caught up in a relegation battle? I thought with 22 points, probably only 12-13 away from, you know, keeping their place in the Premier League this season. But watching them today, they just look devoid of ideas. Yeah, and I'll come back to you, quite right. You've just mentioned, you know, the lack of depth to the squad with the injury list that they've got. But I still expect a lot more from this team. A lot of them have got Premier League experience out there.
Prödl has given it away. Kane plays it in. It's Dele Alli. The angle's tight, but it is 4-0. And it's taken only 58 seconds of the second half for Watford's misery to be compounded. All came after a mistake from Prödl. Kane made the most of it. Excellent ball to the far post. Ali had time to take a touch. He squeezed it inside Aurelio Gomez's near post. It's Watford 0, Tottenham 4.
What a finish as well, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant from Dele Alli. But the movement's terrific, you know. It really is. I mean, you talked about mistakes. Prödl, really poor clearance into the path of Harry Kane. He gets away from Capoue too easily. Then he's just lifted it over the top of Cathcart into the path of Dele Alli. Touch was assured. I thought initially he might have just taken a little bit too far to his left hand side. Thought the keeper could have come out a little bit quicker, but he just nestled it under Aurelio Gomez into the back of the net. And maybe 2017 is going to be a good year for Mr. Mark Saggers, because he's got over 4.5 goals for the charity bet, which he looks well on course to win today.
43 minutes, he only needs 1 more. 2 for Kane, 2 for Ali. That's 5 goals in 3 games now for Ali from midfield. Watford on the front foot here. Dyer, though, will be able to knock it away from Igalo. Capoue has done well and got a bang at the time as well, but still able to play it forward, and Spurs can win it back. Kane with an excellent contribution, and then has made an uncharted run through the midfield. He's got options ahead of him. He sprayed it wide out towards Ali on the left hand side, but he went behind him and goes out of play for a Watford throw. These are the teams then. Gomez in goal for Watford, then it's Cathcart, Prödl and Kabul, Amrabat, Guediora, Capoue and Holebas, and then Decore in behind Igalo and Dini. Spurs have Lloris in goal, a back 3 of Dyer, Alderweireld and Wimmer, Trippier and Rose as the wing backs, and then Wanyama is a sitting midfielder, And then it's Eriksen, Ali and Son with Harry Kane up front. On the bench for Spurs, Janssen, Sissoko, Dembele, Winks, Davis, Carter, Vickers and Vorm. For Watford, it's Sinclair, Kabasele, Mason, Stewart, Rowan, Falevi and Pantilimon. Prödl with a long right-footed ball towards the edge of the penalty areas. Headed down by Alderweireld and boomed away by Trippier. And he goes out for a throw which will be taken on the Watford right-hand side. It's Watford 0, Spurs 4 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget, you can see both braces from Ali and Kane on the Sky Sports Football Score Centre app. It's available at no extra cost for Sky TV customers with Sky Sports. 4 goals in 19 minutes either side of half-time.
Jim, I was at Anfield when Watford lost by 6, and I came back, you and I were there, backing back in the train with some Watford people, and they said they were just dismantled by Liverpool. It was men against boys. It'd be like, it's exactly the same today.
Here's Deeney trying to turn inside the penalty area. And Eriksen did well, came back, flicked it away, and Spurs on the counter-attack will try and get Kane to nod it on towards Ali. Son will chase after a ball that's laid back for Gomez. Spurs are playing with a relish, with an endeavour, which is just not evident from the home side at all. Here's Kane. Kane turning, trying to get away from Guediora, who stood his ground and wins it back and finds Amrabat. Amrabat will play it forward. It's the 3rd time already this season that Watford have found themselves 3 down at half-time. And one of those other games was that one at Anfield where they lost 6-1. They've got a corner here, or is it going to be a throw just the other side of the corner flag? And it's a throw which they will take. And Guediora will come across to take it. Watford 0, Tottenham 4. Guediora into the feet of Decore. Back for Guediora again. Eriksen trying to block the cross. Guediora does get it in, but it hits Danny Rose. Hoisted then high inside the penalty area by Guediora a second time, and straight out of play for a goal kick which will be taken by Hugo Lloris.
I just wonder at what stage Pochettino will start making changes. You know, they've got that big game coming up against Chelsea. It is at White Hart Lane, isn't it, in a few days' time. Just wonder, you know, would he take off Harry Kane or even Dele Alli? I know they're on a hat-trick and there's goals here for both of them in this particular game, but that's a massive match for him. It really is. And I just wonder if he'd want to give some of these fringe players an opportunity in some game time.
Ali pulled back though by Guediora, and the two of them very close as they made their way back through the midfield. Words being exchanged. Here's Kane. Kane to Wanyama. Wanyama has got Danny Rose out on the left-hand touchline, midway inside the Watford half, but Wanyama instead goes the other way for Kevin Wimmer. Now Wanyama plays it down towards the right-hand side for Trippier. Trippier running at Holebas, turns it back inside towards Eriksen. Back for Dyer. Dyer, right-footed ball forward. Prödl heads it away. Wanyama taps it forward for Kane. Oh, Kane has rolled in. Son over the bar. Second bad miss from Son in this game. Could have made it 3-0 in the first half. Should have made it 5-0 there.
Well, it was a decent chance, wasn't it? I mean, he was on his left foot. It is his weaker side. Didn't really look that comfortable, but how easy was that for Tottenham to carve out another opportunity? And that came once again, Jim. Poor header there from Prödl into Harry Kane, who set up Son for the opportunity with his left foot. You think of the goals that they've conceded. Dele Alli's first one, poor clearance from Kabul. The fourth goal, poor clearance.
Deeney's flicked it on here for Igalo, left-hand side of the penalty area, and he's got a right-footed attempt which has gone high and wide and harmlessly past Hugo Lloris's far post.
Didn't that look like a man that's not scored for a long time, didn't it? You know, you look at the opposite side of it, and that's Dele Alli and Harry Kane and how they finished their opportunities with aplomb there. Never looked confident at all there, Igalo taking that opportunity on. I was just going back to Prödl was involved there, wasn't he, going for the fourth goal. Poor ball that he played out from the back there straight to Harry Kane, and he played it over the top to pick out Dele Alli for his second and Spurs' fourth goal of the game.
Eriksen will make his way forward now. So much space for Tottenham in the midfield. It's Danny Rose that picks it up in central midfield, works it out for Trippier. Trippier towards the edge of the penalty area, right-footed ball in from him is headed away by Kabul. Igalo will chase down this near touchline and can't keep it in. Goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken right in front of Maurizio Pochettino, who himself acts as the ball boy and just chips it up for Kieran Trippier. Trippier waiting for some options to present themselves ahead of him. Son is making a run forward, and he's managed to get it down the touchline towards him. Kabul with a really poor attempt at clearing it. Kane can pick up the second. Ericsson on the edge of the penalty area. Easily knocked away from him, though, and they'll be able to build again from the back with Decore. Igalo trying to hold it up. Teased over the top by Holebas. Deeney does well to control it. He's got Alderweireld touch tight to him. Deeney just forced away from the direction of play by the Belgian. Goes back for Holebas again. Watford 0, Tottenham 4 on TalkSport. Gediora out to Amrabat. Amrabat has got 3 inside the penalty area. An opportunity for him to get it across towards them. He's fired it in low. It's hit Danny Rose. And Ali and Wanyama will very calmly and neatly play out from the back. In fact, Ali then turned again and went back to his goalkeeper, Lloris. Lloris to the left-hand side. High ball down the left-hand touchline by Wimmer. Brought down by Prödl, his international teammate. Flicked forward by him towards Igalo, off the top of Igalo's head. Didn't give Decore too much of an opportunity to do anything constructive with it, and Spurs clear. Holebas picks it up again in the midfield. Tries to turn away from Ali. Ericsson wins it back. Finds Wanyama. Space to his right-hand side for Trippier. Kane makes a run as well now down the right-hand side. Kabul comes back across. He's got Son in the middle. He's got Ali in the middle as well. Rose getting heavily involved. Has been able to pick it up. Central position. 25 yards out to his left for Ericsson. Ericsson setting the sights. Back for Danny Rose again, who turns away from Capu, who's brought him down. And it's a free kick on the edge of the D to Spurs, and an opportunity for Ericsson.
Well, is it Ericsson or is Harry Kane going to take over here? Harry Kane wants the ball. He's picked it up first. Ericsson's normally the free kick taker from this sort of distance. And Harry Kane wants his hat-trick in this particular match. Poor defending there once again from Capu. Caught the wrong side, brought down Danny Rose. And this is a genuine opportunity for Tottenham to make it 5.
Well, Rose stands over it. Kane on a hat-trick stands over it. Ericsson surely is going to be the favourite. He's got a magnificent, glittering back catalogue of free kicks.
Ericsson looks like he wants it, but Harry Kane, I think he's taking charge here.
Igalo stands in the D. Every other Watford player is back just outside the 6-yard box. No chance the keeper can see anything, but he did well to get down and get a left hand to it, to flick it around the post. It came through a forest of legs. It was Kane with the effort. It was on target for the bottom right-hand corner, and he did well to tip around the post.
Good save, wasn't it? Because he didn't see it till late there. Gomez got down sharply to his left-hand side to make the save.
Rose with the corner towards the edge of the penalty area. Trippier, who scored against Watford last season. Wimmer over the top. Rose brings it down, controls it, takes it out towards the touchline. Back again for Ericsson. Ericsson to Son. Son with awkward control has still managed to play it inside the penalty area. Wanyama almost got it away from Decore, but Watford can clear. And Trippier will be able to bring it down at the back. Watford just can't get out now. Spurs are playing with him. Kabul heads it away. Brought down by Wanyama. Ericsson back for Trippier to Wanyama again, and now back for Eric Dyer. And Dyer to Trippier on halfway, and his long ball over the top will be chased by Kane, headed down by Cathcart. And Kabul has sent a bouncing ball back to his goalkeeper. Gomez is able to deal with it and clears. Rose tries to bring it down. Rose on halfway, takes it towards the edge of the centre circle. What a start to 2017 this is proving to be for Spurs. They have got a habit of winning their first game of the year. They won the last 4 times they played on New Year's Day. That's a stark contrast to Watford, who've lost their opening game of the new year in each of the last 5 seasons. And that'll be 6 in half an hour's time. Here's Ericsson on the right, takes it down towards the corner flag, tries to get the better of Kabul, try to flick it off him to win a corner. Kabul did well. He has the ball at his feet now, but Ericsson stopping him playing it out from the back, and in the end Ericsson has just put it over the line. It's out of play for a goal kick. Watford 0, Spurs 4 after 57 minutes on TalkSport.
Can't get a kick at the moment, can they, Jim? You're just looking at Watford at the moment. They can't get involved in the build-up play. But once again, I'm just looking around and I'm looking for people cajoling each other, trying to get something out of each other. Yeah, okay, we're 4-0 down. Well, we're trying to build for the upcoming matches that we've got. Just no leaders out there at all. And even the manager sat down now. I think he's seen enough from his Watford charges as well out there. Just complete dominance from Spurs.
Here comes Ali, making his way forward. Cathcart cut out the ball for Kane. And Watford will be looking at this, have written this one off obviously, but then Stoke away coming up for them, which is going to be an awkward encounter. which I think is Tuesday. So there's only a quick turnaround for those that have been fit enough to play today. Goes out of play for a throw. That game is Tuesday night.
But don't they, Jimmy, they all look like individuals? There's no team play from them. You know, there's no interchanging of movement. Here, look at Guerrero on the ball there. No one's making a position to get the ball off him. Here, look at Prodo. All he's got is a long ball over the top, which is hopeful, and he's offside.
It was Deeney got there first. Lloris came outside his penalty area, and Deeney nudged it past him. The flag was up. And it is a free kick which will be taken by Spurs midway inside their own half of the 4-0 lead.
Yeah, just looking at both benches, see if anyone's there's quite a few of the substitutes warming up at the moment, where they make changes. You know, from Watford's point of view, why not throw in a couple of youngsters? They can't do any worse than what the players out there are doing at the moment. Give them some experience playing against a top side in Spurs, just see what they can do.
But neither with the best will in the world can they be expected necessarily to come on and make a
but they're not going to make
impact.
Listen, they're not going to make a huge difference, are they? I mean, Watford not going to get back into this. I mean, that's evident from what we've seen so far. It's just trying to contain Tottenham and stop conceding goals.
Holebas's positioning was caught there, and Kane made a run in between him and Kabul to be able to pick it up. Trippier is in close support for Harry Kane, who's got it on the edge of the penalty area. Back for Eriksen. Right-footed ball in, just trying to dink it, got caught in two minds, and Gomez could come out and make the save on the edge of the 6-yard box. 59 gone, Watford 0, Spurs 4.
We've got in two minds there. Neither one of them was good, was it, what he was trying to do? Because he had the option of playing it through for Harry Kane, or I think he was trying to chip the goalkeeper, Gomez, who was on his 6-yard line at that stage, but just didn't get anything on the ball. Now, we are going to see the first substitution. Anticipated this. I think Dele Alli's still not quite right from that knock he had earlier on. I'm just watching him. He looks like he's just not moving as freely as he should be.
And it is Winks who will come on. Will confirm that it's Ali who's coming off very shortly. But 2 more goals for Ali today to take his tally for the season up to 9. Watford work it forward. Trippier can sweep up on the edge of his penalty area and then gets a return ball from Lloris. Turns it out neatly to Eriksen. Eriksen now for Dyer. Dyer will make his way forward. Had a look around to see if a challenge was going to come in. There wasn't, and so he continues himself, and he finds Ali on the edge of the penalty area. Ali tried his luck. Right-footed ball took a deflection. Kane tries to bring it down, appeals for handball, but from the Spurs fans, not the players. It was against Kabul. It's cleared by him and goes out for a Tottenham throw. And as always, you've got it absolutely spot on. It is Ali who will make way, and Winks comes on for him.
He's not happy though. Dele Alli, I've got to tell you, he knows there's an opportunity to get a hat-trick in this game. He just, as soon as he seen his number go up, his arms went up in the air, he looked over at the Tottenham fans, applauded them for the support today, and they've been great. Look at the noise and the noise that they're making here, the Tottenham fans. They've got real belief this could be a big season for them. He's a big player, and just think of it as a compliment. Listen, we need you, that important game against Chelsea coming up in a couple of days' time.
You can hear the Spurs fans applauding him and cheering his name as he leaves the field, and then gets a pat on the back from Maurizio Pochettino as he goes past him. Trippier lays it back for Dyer. Spurs have never won in their history an away fixture in the league by 6 goals or more. Could happen. It could happen. We played an hour. It's 4-0. But they haven't scored for the last 15 minutes, which, bearing in mind what had happened in the previous 20, goes down as a real success for Watford. Gomez will bowl it out. He's got huge distance on that overarm throw, flicked on by Deeney. Igalo will try and chase it and will get there first on the edge of the penalty area ahead of Dyer, whose challenge was clean, won the ball inside the penalty area, and it'll be knocked away by Trippier on the right-hand side by Spurs right back. Brought down though by Holebas. Holebas to the left for Capoue. Capoue for Kabul. Kabul chipping it forward. Wanyama heads it down, and then Trippier can volley it away. Forward towards halfway. Son goes up for it. He's been caught on the ankle, and it's a free kick to Tottenham on halfway.
That should be a yellow card for Prodo, because it was a challenge from behind. It was lovely skill from Son to take it away from him initially. Prodo was committed to it, knew he was beat, had to bring him down, because there was an overload there for Tottenham.
And it's going to be a yellow card for Prödl. It's his 4th of the season. Just to reiterate the situation in terms of suspensions, once you get to the 1st of January, it's no longer 5 yellow cards that rules you out, it becomes 10. So a problem for Holebas, who's now on 9. No problem for Prödl there, picking up his 4th. Well, that doesn't mean that he's only 1 yellow card away from a suspension now. Free kick will be taken by Trippier. You're listening to Watford 0, Spurs 4 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. See more live Premier League games on Sky Sports than ever before this season. Prödl joining Holibas in the book. Wanyama goes back for Alderweireld and then out to the left-hand side again, where Wanyama can turn neatly in the midfield and then play it down towards the left. Kane makes a run forward. Danny Rose picks it up. Eriksson then invites Rose forward again. He's just been blocked off by Amrabat. He's picked up by Cathcart. His long right-footed ball forward is flicked on by Deeney. They'll try and get Decore in, but can't do so. Wanyama is able to win it back and wins the resulting physical challenge with Deeney to get it down for Trippier, who then holds his head in his hands as he's misplaced the ball forward. It goes out of play for a Watford throw.
Mark that down as number one, because he hasn't misplaced many today, Trippier. He's been very good, great player in his own right. You know, he's up against Kyle Walker, which makes it even more difficult for him, because Walker's a very attack-minded fullback, but he's done really well today, Trippier.
Son will chase, Kabul will come across and will get there first ahead of Son, and then turns it out of play for what might be a throw. It's just kept in by Holibas, actually. He was stretched and did well. He's forced to take it down towards his own corner flag, under pressure now from Trippier, and Trippier's done well. He's won it back for Son. Trippier was fouled, and it's a free kick now. Watford are beginning to leave Spurs with a few bruises and beginning to batter them a little bit as well. It will be a free kick, in fact, for an offside against Trippier rather than the foul against him. And Trippier is in need of a little bit of treatment. Just going back to what you were saying about the strength in depth for any side that is chasing a title. Trippier is a perfect case in point. Yeah. How well he's played today. He's only seen 13 minutes of Premier League action all season, and yet he can come in, he can deputise for the England right-back Kyle Walker in a match in which he's suspended and acquit himself so well. Yeah, well, listen, he's just got a slight problem at the moment, and it wasn't a dive, it was just the way that he landed. I think he's done his shoulder. I think he's just holding his right shoulder at the moment, would be a slight concern. I know Pochettino was about to make a substitution anyway. He just called one or two of his substitutes back to take their top off and get prepared to come onto the field to play. But I tell you what, how many teams this season in the Premier League are playing with three centre-halves? I mean, it's something we hadn't seen for a while, but Chelsea have done it, Tottenham have done it, Watford have done it, Manchester City. Any more than that, Jim, you can think of that you've seen in your travels? Hull,
of course, yeah.
It's about West Ham are doing it as well. I mean, it's back in vogue. Everything is cyclical in football and fashion. I think it was always likely to happen because of Conte. Conte was always likely to have success at Chelsea, and he was always likely to do it with his favoured formation of a back three. Mazzarri always did it when he was in Italy with Napoli. He always played with a back three, and then I think it's become in vogue, and so you get Pochettino trying it and other people trying it as well. Trippier is back on his feet, I'm pleased to say, having had that shoulder sorted out. The free kick for the offside against him is taken by Gomez and put straight out of play. Don't forget the FA Cup's back next weekend. TalkSport, the only place to be. We've got it all covered. First up, West Ham against Manchester City with Sam and Sags Friday night at 5 to 8. Then on Saturday we bring you Manchester United against Reading, 12:30 at Old Trafford on TalkSport. And then you've got an option in the afternoon. It's Everton Leicester on TalkSport 2, or Round the Grounds on TalkSport, followed by arguably the game of the round at Deepdale, Preston against Arsenal, 5:30pm on TalkSport Saturday tea time. On Sunday, 3 more live games for you: Liverpool, Plymouth and Spurs Villa on TalkSport, and sandwiched in between them Chelsea Peterborough on TalkSport 2, and TalkSport 2 also the place to hear the weekend being rounded off in style with Cambridge United against Leeds in the Monday night game. That's the FA Cup for you. 8 live games for you over the course of next weekend on TalkSport. Well, we're going to see a debut here for one of the Watford youngsters, and it's Brandon Mason, the 19-year-old fullback, who's going to get his first taste of first-team football, and he will replace Holibas. Mason for Holibas, Watford's first change. And a second change is imminent for Spurs. Ben Davis is going to come on for them. Is it going to be Danny Rose? Yes, it is. So straight swap at left back for Spurs. Davis for Rose and Mason for Holibas for Watford.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage of the game you expect that, don't you? Danny Rose is such an important player for Tottenham. You want to keep him fit and well for that game against Chelsea. And for young Mason, this is a chance for the manager to put out some of the youngsters, let the Watford public see what's coming through at the youth level and whether they're going to be good enough to make it with the first team.
Well, Mason is 19. He's one of several players who've emerged to prominence as part of Watford's successful under-18 side over the last 18 months, 2 years or so, and he has come on to play at left back. Son has it for Spurs, who lead by 4-0, 2 for Kane and 2 for Ali. Trippier put under pressure immediately by Mason. Trippier's ball forward was an errant one. He gets the second opportunity and tries to roll it forward for Kane. Kabul is there first, and he will lay it back to his goalkeeper, Gomez. Gomez takes a touch outside the penalty area and clears it right-footed over halfway. Going up forward is Wimmer. Wimmer to Son. Just try to kill it with the instep of his left foot and play it inside for Eriksson, all in one motion. Watford win it back. And warm applause for Mason as it's played for by him, but Igalo couldn't get it to stick and it goes out of play for a throw which will be taken by Spurs' Eric Dyer. Dyer back for Winks. And Winks just playing as the deep line midfielder alongside Wanyama, lays it out towards the left hand side, an opportunity for Spurs to bring it forward again. High ball over the top. Son is in here on the edge of the area. Mason's got back goal side and has stopped him getting a shot in. Mason then clears his lines. Good contribution.
It was,
the young man.
Jim, but what a ball from Wimmer, wasn't it? Absolutely beautiful ball, weighted over the top of the back line of Watford into the path. So, let's say Son's touch let him down there. I think if he was a bit more assured, he would have got his feet a little bit quicker and he could have got his shot away, but as it was, he allowed young Mason to get back to make the challenge on him.
Spurs 4 goals to the good. Should have had a penalty at 0-0. They hit the bar at 0-0. Here's Winks back for Alderweireld, and Alderweireld to Hugo Lloris, who again takes a touch and then plays it forward, and Winks very neat and tidy in possession, just turns, drops his shoulder in the midfield and now can bring it forward, and all of a sudden Spurs have turned defence into attack in double quick time. Ball played in towards Son towards the edge of the penalty area, back out towards that left hand side again for Ben Davis. Left footed ball in from him, takes a deflection off Amrabat and then is cleared by Cathcart ultimately after Prödel's initial touch. Alderweireld ducks his head in and gets it past Igalo in the midfield to find Wanyama. Wanyama threatens to go back inside his own half, then turns the other way and then turns back towards his own half again and lays it back for Eric Dyer. 4-0, a strange score. It's often games that are 4-0 at half-time will end up being 4-0. It's almost as if a side declares. I'm not accusing Spurs of having declared here, but they haven't played with the same intensity in the last 20 minutes. They haven't had to. They've got that Chelsea game ahead of them.
Yeah, absolutely. You conserve your energy for the upcoming fixtures that you've got. You've done your hard work to get you into the position that you're in at the moment with that 4-goal advantage. Playing really well at the minute. There's a confidence about it, isn't there? Just everyone wants the ball. Harry Kane still loving it out there at the moment. Surprised he's still on, to be honest.
And again, excellent play from him in conjunction with Trippier. Will give him an opportunity to try and get Spurs going here down the right hand side. He's made a run in behind Kabul, who's just let him go. Eriksson is in the middle. It was pulled back by Kane towards the edge of the area. Instead, he couldn't find Wanyama and Watford bring it away.
What's Kabul doing there? Totally caught ball watching to allow Kane to get in behind him. I thought he was just going to fire across the 6-yard box, because Eriksson made a great run to get beyond his mark and it would have been a tap in for him. Try to pull it back towards the penalty spot and there was no Spurs player.
They've got a problem. Amrabat's injured. There was a coming together between Amrabat and Wanyama, and Amrabat was then hobbling away from that. Play goes on for the time being with Mason, but Capoue will stop it now. You can see Amrabat down injured. The last thing they need is another injury. I know he's off to the African Cup of Nations anyway, but the last thing they need is a problem for Nordin Amrabat. Just being helped back to his feet here by Victor Wanyama. Hopefully it was just an impact injury and he's going to be able to run it off.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it, Jimmy? He's got up. Normally players know when you've challenged someone, if you actually tackled them hard or not. Didn't really see a great deal. Did he just put his studs in the back of his ankle? It didn't look a great deal about it. Then afterwards he sort of went down and then got back up again. I didn't see a great deal in it, to be honest, and he looks like he's hobbling around at the moment and maybe he's not quite right.
Well, if anything, the worst challenge was that of Amrabat on Wimmer, just on the follow through. I don't think there was any intention. His play has gone on, or has been restarted. It was thrown by Spurs back for Gomez, and then Amrabat's gone down injured again. And so they're going to have to make another change, I think, at Watford. It's just going from bad to worse for them at the moment. 18 minutes to go. Watford 0, Spurs 4.
Jim, I've been in teams where we've been well-beaten matches, well-beaten games, but it's about your attitude. You know, okay, you might be 2-0 down, 3-0 down, 4-0. I've been 6-0 down, but still you're looking around each other. Hey, come on, let's fight for each other. You know, we've got to try and do something to get a bit of confidence for the next game that we've got. I'm looking out with the Watford players. I don't know if it's really hurting them that they're getting beat. I just don't get that from them. It's as if they're just going through the motions at the moment, and the quicker the final whistle comes, the better, as far as they're concerned, and just get themselves off home. And I do think it's a worry. I don't know if it's a thing in the modern game or not, but I'd like to see a little bit more devilment about them, getting in amongst Tottenham, getting closer to them, harrying them, harassing them, trying to get their own game going. I'm just not seeing it throughout this game from Watford.
I'm not putting words in your mouth, but are you saying that you think there are a few there in the yellow and black today who this isn't hurting as much as it should?
Well, it should. I mean, listen, whenever you're getting beaten, you're getting the runaround, it should hurt you. You know, you should want to put something about it. And I'm saying, once again, I'm not saying going out there and start kicking people, but put your foot in. But ball's there to be won. Get tight to someone. Say to your midfield player, hey, I'm going to go and mark him. He ain't getting a kick. You know, that's the way you used to try and do it as best you could. I'm going to get close to him. I'm going to put him under pressure. I'm not going to allow him to dictate the game in which Tottenham have. I mean, they've not laid a glove on the Tottenham players. It's so easy for them just to pass around them without any pressure being on them. And unfortunately, it looks like Amrabat is coming off.
And Sinclair presumably will be the man who will come on and replace him. Let's get the headline team news while the change is being made from the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal against Palace at 4 o'clock. Happy New Year from me to TalkSport Ian Abrahams.
And Happy New Year, Jim. 3 changes for Arsenal, who beat West Brom here on Boxing Day. Monreal for Gibbs, El Neni for Coquelin, and Mesut Ozil is ill, bless him. Perez comes in for him. 1 change for Palace after their draw at Watford. Tompkins replaces the suspended Delaney.
Bruce, thank you. The change has been made, and Sinclair has come on and signed from Liverpool for £4 million, but this is only his 4th appearance for Watford. He made his full Premier League debut at Manchester City, his only Watford start to date. Watford have a free kick as the play eventually restarted from Gomez's long ball forward, and Deeney was being held, and the free kick to Watford is inside the Spurs half. Guediora will take it. Kabul has made his way forward. I think this is Watford's first set piece of the game for an opportunity to get centre-halves forward. They haven't won a corner yet, certainly. Kabul has won it in the air. It's flicked away then by Alderweireld. Ericsson over the top of the onrushing Guediora, brought down by Son. Options to his right include Trippier. First time ball forward from him. Ericsson with the first time flick towards Son. Son taking on Cathcart, who's done enough to force him wide. And Decore was back there to pick up the pieces. But wonderful one-touch play from Spurs on the counter-attack.
Well, Trippier once again heavily involved, Jim. And what a ball that was.
And then what a ball that was from Decore back to his goalkeeper. He sold Gomez short, and Son's eyes lit up for a moment. Gomez just got there in time.
Well, absolutely. What are they thinking about here defensively? Put his goalkeeper under all sorts of pressure there, Decore. And Gomez was quick to react to put it out for a throw-in for Tottenham.
It's Trippier from that quickly taken throw. Exchange of passes with Son. Back for Winks. Janssen will come on in a moment, presumably for Kane, to give Harry an extra 15 minutes off ahead of the Chelsea match on Wednesday. Ball play forward by Capoue out towards the right-hand side. A Watford performance that has really been in keeping with the weather today. Murky, miserable afternoon at Vicarage Road in every sense for Watford. Here's Son! Over the bars. It was played in on the edge of the penalty area, leaning back. He's played over the top right-hand corner. And Spurs will make the change. And a big ovation here for Harry Kane. A 100th Premier League appearance for him has brought goals numbers 58 and 59. An outstanding record for a young man at the start of his career. Only 8 players have scored more goals in their first 100 Premier League appearances than Kane. And he scored 2 today. Join the likes of Mikel Antonio, Ryan Shawcross, Fernandinho in recent times have been the first Premier League goal scorer of a new year. Kane leaves the field, 2 goals against his name, up to 12 for the season, and Janssen will come on for the final 13 minutes.
Playing really well, isn't he, at the moment, Harry Kane? Talking about leader, he's a leader out there on the pitch in different ways for his side. He's been excellent today, led the line well, top class finisher. You give him a chance, he looks like he's going to score goals for you.
Alderweireld's ball forward, knocked away by Cathcart, brought down by Mason. Mason's ball forward down the Left-hand side will be picked up here by Igalo, and Mason coming to make life difficult for Dyer, has fouled him, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Spurs in their right-back position. You're listening to Watford 0, Spurs 4 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. See more live Premier League games on Sky Sports than ever before this season. 2 goals for Harry Kane in a 6-minute spell around the half-hour mark. 2 for Dele Alli in a 5-minute spell either side of half-time. Watford 0, Tottenham 4.
Jim, can you remember Lloris making a save? A genuine save?
No, he hasn't had to make. He hasn't had to make one.
I mean, the home team, when we're talking about 78 minutes into the game, and they've not offered themselves.
Son's ball in. Gomez just got a strong left hand to it, to flick it away from Jansen's path, and it'll be cleared by the Watford back line. What Jansen would give for a goal here. Prödl gives it away straight to Eriksson. Eriksson, he's put it wide. That's another horrible moment for Sebastian Prödl. I mean, he's an international defender. He's won 60 caps for Austria. Kabul's an international defender. They haven't been at the races today.
Do you know, it's one of them games, Jim, where you just can't do right for wrong. And every decision you make's the wrong one. You know, you should be clearing it with your left foot, you're clearing it with your right, and you're giving the ball away. The head in there, you know, you've seen it with Prödl, we've seen it Kabul. They've not dominated that back line, and same with Cathcart. You know, just the three of them have just had really poor games today.
Gomez clears. Watford have made another change, and Kabasele has come on. He's replaced Etienne Capoue. So that's the final change made by Valdemar Tsari. They work the ball out towards the left, have Spurs, who lead here by 4 goals to 0. Deeney and Igalo up front for Watford now. They've got Sinclair in behind him, with Decore alongside him. And then Kabasele is playing on the right of the 3 centre-halves, or almost out at right back, in fact, now, Kabasele. So he moves it to a back 4. Hard to judge, really. I'm not too sure what Watford have been doing. The ball is played forward. Wanyama to Eriksson. Eriksson now making his way forward. He's got a lot of options. He played it forward towards Jansen, who didn't read it. I don't think he was expecting the ball to be worked that way. He thought it was going out to the left, but instead it went to the right. Kabasele's gone to right back. They've got Mason at left back, and they are still playing with 3 centre-halves, with Kabul, Prödl and Cathcart. Ball played forward from the back by Watford, brought down by Trippier. Trippier has it inside his own half. One game, incidentally, the 12 o'clock kickoff in the National League today, the local derby. Finished Woking 1, Aldershot 2, so Aldershot doing the quick festive double over their local rivals. Beat them on Boxing Day as well. Not quite such an ignominious defeat for Woking today. I'm still hurt though. Ball played down the right hand side of the Spurs midfield with Son. Watford 0, Spurs 4 here with 10 minutes to go. Harry Winks. An aerial pass out towards the left-hand touchline for Ben Davies, headed away by Kabasele, and it goes out for a throw which will be taken midway inside the Watford half on the Spurs left.
Yeah, he just went for the wrong option there with that diagonal ball. The easier one was into Wanyama, and then he could have built it up to Davies over in that left wing-back position. But Tottenham at the moment is just complete domination, isn't it? Watford just can't get anywhere near them.
Winks trying to get the better of Deeney, and he does so, and he was fouled, and still he goes, and Harry Winks looks up, surveys his options. One of them is Son to his right-hand side. He's got Trippier, ever willing to push forward down the right-hand side for Spurs. Out on the touchline, back to Son. Son gets a return ball from Winks, but it's just overhit. It's something every time I've seen Harry Winks play, he's got real composure, he's got an eye for a pass, he doesn't necessarily rely on a simple ball, he's got good vision, good invention. I think he's got an immense future
ahead of him. Yeah, he's got an immense future ahead of him. You know, he's mobile, isn't he? He's got plenty of energy about him, can see a pass. He just overhit it, that was all. It was the right ball to play, just overhit it in towards Son. But I've been impressed with Son today. I know he's missed 2 or 3 half chances, if you like, but his movement's been terrific. Not always been spotted by the midfield players, but always available to get on the ball for Tottenham.
Wanyama's got it back for Winks. Winks to his left-hand side, and Wimmer can play it forward. Out to Ben Davies, towards Vincent Janssen, still waiting for his first goal from open play in a Spurs shirt. He has done well, rode the challenge with a poor one from Cathcart that caught him. I don't think there was any malice in it, but it was a very poor challenge, and Craig Cathcart will become the 3rd Watford player booked.
Yeah, and rightly so as well. Very late there, Cathcart. Delighted to see Janssen to get up, and he's okay to play. I just think with Janssen, he's trying too hard, if you know what I mean, Jim. He's so desperate to score a goal and prove himself to the Tottenham fans. Just taking too many touches, and instead of letting the ball do the work, he's trying to do it on his own.
It's a Cathcart in the book alongside Holibas and Prödl. Free kick here to Spurs. Actually knocked back behind square for Dyer, teased over the top, headed away by the retreating Kabasele, and a shot on the turn was optimistic from Dyer, leaning back on the edge of the D, and he's put it over the bar.
Yeah, real difficult opportunity there for Dyer, because it just bounced in front of him, and he just swung his left foot at it and made connection with it, decent connection, but just too much height as it took over the top of the crossbar. I'm just looking at Pochettino in his technical area. You know, he's just arms folded. If you don't enjoy days like this, you know, you should be in management, because it's been perfect from his point of view. Team's played really well, super confident, got the goals, and defensively they've looked nice and solid.
Sinclair has been fouled, and it's a free kick for Watford. Here are the latest odds from Betfair Sunday Exclusive's official betting partner on TalkSport. A £25 pre-match bet on Spurs can be cashed out for £39. If you do think both teams will score, then it's 15-4. With Betfair, you can cash out on single or accumulator bets. Take your winnings before the end of the match. It's available on selected markets and conditions apply. Try to betfair.com or download the app today, but please gamble responsibly. Watford take this free kick. Gediora flicking it over the top. Kabul round the back, and Lloris has had a save to make. Diving away 3 yards off his line, catches it, and the ironic cheers around Vicarage Road speak volumes.
He just needed the diving practice there, I think, didn't he, Lloris? I mean, he wasn't even on target. Kabul wasn't trying to score. He was trying to put it across the face of the 6-yard box, but the keeper read it well, came out and just collected it nice and calmly for Tottenham.
Now Son has brought it down, running at Cathcart towards the edge of the penalty area. Janssen waits in the middle. Spurs looking for goal number 5. Son holding it up. Watford get enough bodies back behind the ball, and eventually it's going to be brought away by Gediora. 10 yards outside his own penalty area. High one over the top, which Igalo will chase. Coming across, out of Varel can nod it away from him, but it'll be brought down by Deeney. Deeney on the right-hand side of the penalty area fires it in, and Sinclair, he knocked it out of Lloris's hands. Wouldn't have counted anyway. There was a push and a shove from Jerome Sinclair as he attacked it. Well, the ball was actually cleared off the line, but it is a free kick to Tottenham.
I'm not sure he'd done an awful lot wrong there, to be honest. I think Lloris just took his eye off it. It was such an easy take for him. Wasn't a particularly good ball in from Troy Deeney. Lloris really should have come out and secured it. Sinclair came in. Don't know what he really done wrong there, but Dyer very vigilant there to clear it off the line anyway, even though the whistle had gone.
Out of Varels. Right-footed ball down towards Trippier, who's chested it down. Just got a little nudge there from Mason. Janssen trying to play it back infield for Wanyama. Couldn't find his man. Wins it back though, and then Dyer sends it out towards the left-hand side. 5 minutes to go. Watford 0, Spurs 4. The scoreline on TalkSport. Eriksson dropping off in the midfield. Ball instead played for Winks. Ben Davis had wanted it to be turned round the corner for him, but instead it's been a more measured build-up from Spurs. Now Wanyama can play it forward. Janssen will chase. He's given Kabul a couple of yards of a head start and still very nearly got there. Both players appealing that if the ball goes out of play, it's theirs. Eventually Kabul elected to play it and cleared it off Janssen out of play for a throw, which Mason will take in the left-back role for Watford.
He's a willing runner, Janssen. He's just not got the pace to get away from anyone, is he? And I think that's always going to be something that is going to be a worry for Pochettino long term, because when you're looking for an understudy to Harry Kane, I think you need a little bit better than Janssen, to be honest, if you're going to go and compete for not only for the top 4, but Tottenham in future years will be hopefully looking to try and win the title as well.
Decore's giving it away with a sloppy pass out from the back. Son has it. Eriksson got Winks to his right. He's got Wimmer to his left-hand side. Out in a wider position on the left is Ben Davis. Davis trying to get away from Kabasele. Goes back to halfway. He'll find Winks. Out of Varel and stretches and plays in Wanyama. Wanyama to Dyer. Dyer able to bring it forward. Trippier on the right-hand side. Ball in towards Janssen. Eriksson couldn't quite pick up the pieces on the edge of the penalty area. Mason can't get it away, but as it comes off Dyer, Janssen was offside. And it's a free kick to Watford on their edge of their own penalty area. And they've only got 3 minutes plus stoppage time left to endure.
See, there was Janssen inside the 18-yard box. He's got to control that for me. You know, he's in a good position. He's got to show his strength, holding off the defender. Just didn't get there early enough. Touch let him down. The opportunity had gone as far as Tottenham's concerned. there's no pressure on the ball. I'm just looking around. When Tottenham are getting the ball, none of the Watford players are getting anywhere near that we put them under any pressure whatsoever. Just have a look around. Have a look at the Watford players. They're all, it's like walking or jogging.
Conserving their energy for the trip to Stoke.
Well, that might be the case, Jim, but you're still the Watford fans. Look how empty the ground's become. And all the Tottenham fans are still there, of course, because they're enjoying it. But look at the Watford fans, they've seen enough.
Dyer in possession rather than a subjective assessment of Watford's performance today. Here's Trippier, and he'll go back to his goalkeeper for Lloris, who backpedals quickly and then brings it under control with his left shin and plays it out to Kevin Wimmer, and Wimmer will bring it forward. Watford's long wait for a victory over Spurs continues. You've got to go back to 1987 for the last time they got the better of Tottenham, when Kenny Jackett scored the winner, and it turned out to be Glenn Hoddle's last league appearance in a Spurs shirt. Decore has given it away. Spurs will bring it forward. Here's Janssen trying to get round Prödl, who slid in and cleanly won it on the edge of the penalty area. It's out for a throw.
Yeah, good tackle there from Prödl. Just wonder there if Janssen could have got out his feet a little bit quicker. His touch was a little bit better. Maybe a little bit more pace to get away from the Watford defender. Could have been an opportunity for him.
Well, Watford have the oldest average age in the Premier League so far this season in terms of the starting lineup. Spurs have the youngest, and perhaps an illustration of that in the way that the game has gone on towards its conclusion. Spurs still looking fresh and full of running. Watford less so. Here's Eriksson. Have had to do a lot of chasing today, Watford. Here's Winks getting away from Deeney, who is still gamely putting his body through it. Eriksson back towards Dyer. Dyer on halfway. Janssen ahead of him. Eriksson wanted the ball into space in the inside right channel. It's worked back instead for Wanyama. Minute plus stoppage time remains, with Spurs leading 4-0 as they've done since the opening moments of this second half. Back he goes towards Toby Alderweireld. He will play it forward into the feet of Winks. Alderweireld again. Right footed over halfway. Son flicking it out towards the left hand side for Davis. And Davis back inside for Alderweireld again. He rolls it forward towards halfway. Son maintains possession. Alderweireld will be able to bring it forward. High right-footed ball over the top, and Eriksson will chase, and Gomez didn't know whether to stick or twist, and in the end Kabul has come back and flicked it back towards his goalkeeper. A few isolated appeals. That was a back pass, but nothing given, and Gomez has the ball in his hands as we go into stoppage time at the end of the game. All eyes down on the tunnel area for fourth official Roger East. Cold, miserable day. He's put a woolly hat on to cover his shaven head. 3 additional minutes to be played. Watford bring it forward with Deeney. Wanyama comes down towards the left hand side for Sinclair. Sinclair's got Mason to his left, the debutant. Found now by Decore. Mason with an intelligent ball down the line. Sinclair chases after it, and the former Liverpool man will bring it in field. The sliding challenge from Dyer was a loose one, and it's a free kick to Watford on the edge of the penalty area.
Well, this is a genuine opportunity. You look at the 3 centre halves, so they're not moving forward too quickly, are they? Kabul, Cathcart and Prödl. There's a walk up towards the 18-yard box, waiting for the delivery from Gideora.
Gideora stands over it. Eriksson is the one man in the wall, swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. He's taken a touch on the way through, and Watford have one back. It is bundled over the line, and they've got themselves a goal right at the end of the game. Sliding from Kabul at the far post. I don't know who got the last touch. Nobody is celebrating, as you would imagine. But I think Kabul's effort probably went over the line before another player followed it in. It's no more than a consolation. It denied Hugo Lloris a clean sheet. It's been a torrid afternoon for Watford, but they have at least got themselves on the score sheet right at the end of the game.
Absolutely, and the happiest man in the ground is Mr. Mark Saggers, because he was he had over 4.5 goals. We've been waiting for the best part of half an hour to get the 5th, and eventually we've got it. Good delivery in. Yeah, I thought it cleared the line initially. Flag didn't go up from the assistant on the far side, but you can clearly see it had gone in after the strike came in from Kabul.
Goal scorer for Watford, number 4,
Yunus Kabul having a couple of bites of the cherry. They probably both went over the line, truth be told. The man who scored 8 goals for Spurs has scored his first Watford goal against them, and they're on the front foot again here. Deeney playing it in. Igalo couldn't reach. Where has this spirit been from Watford in the rest of the game? Decore now. Right-footed effort from him is deflected away. Prödl will get there. He's been beaten, no foul. Janssen won it back. Spurs will get the bodies forward quickly. In the closing moments, headed down by Kabul, the Watford goal scorer. Decore eases wings under the flight of it. Kabul plays it forward. Igalo will chase. Lloris will come out and get his body behind it. But Watford all of a sudden playing with a little bit of zest and vigour and belief.
Well, we say goals change games, and it's just changed the attitude of the Watford fans who, for the large part, have been really patient with the performance, what they've seen from their players, but at least they've got something to cheer about, that they've actually got a consolation goal in this game.
Eriksson. He will bring it forward and find Janssen. Vincent Janssen over on that left-hand touchline for Spurs. The 3 minutes of stoppage time are up. And it's a perfect start to 2017 for Tottenham. Sometimes a scoreline doesn't tell the full story of the game, and in many ways this is one of them, because Spurs were much better than 3 goals superior to Watford today. 4 up by the opening seconds of the second half. They took the foot off the gas with the battle against Chelsea to come. Watford left licking their wounds, did score a late consolation with the former Spurs player Yunus Kabul. They look to have major problems. Spurs looking upward, temporarily at least, in the top 3. Watford 1, Tottenham 4.